In the expansive American frontier, the Wild West holds stories of gunslingers, gold fever, and lawless escapades. However, beyond the famous myths, there exists a collection of lesser-known, captivating, and occasionally peculiar tales. Exploring these unusual events, we discover a West that is not only untamed, but also incredibly eccentric. Number 1. Mining for gold with vegetables. The Potato Patch Claim. During the gold fever era in the American West, numerous individuals ventured to stake claims in the hopes of striking it rich. And amidst these stories of discovery, one story shines due to its highly unlikely nature: the Potato Patch Claim. According to the tale, a group of miners facing hunger in Deer Lodge County, Montana, decided to grow potatoes to supplement their meager diets. To their surprise, as they began digging the soil for planting, they unearthed something much more valuable than they had anticipated: gold. Instead of yielding a vegetable harvest, this potato patch yielded substantial quantities of gold dust, prompting the bewildered miners to abandon farming and devote themselves entirely to prospecting. News of this unusual and fortuitous finding spread rapidly, transforming the Potato Patch Claim into a sensation and serving as a testament to the unforeseeable nature of fortune in the Wild West. Soon the area became saturated with prospectors, all in pursuit of their own potato patch bursting with gold. Meanwhile, the original miners managed to amass a significant fortune from their accidental discovery. Although there has been ongoing debate regarding the veracity of this account, it continues to be a beloved piece of folklore. Number 2. Dentistry on Horseback. The Roving Tooth Pullers. In the vast expanses of the Wild West, access to medical care was a rarity. With towns spread far apart and many living in remote areas, seeing a doctor or dentist was a rare occurrence. However, a group of audacious individuals, often lacking formal training, stepped in to offer dentistry on horseback. Armed with pliers, pain-numbing whiskey, and plenty of courage, these traveling dentists would set up temporary practices wherever they could attract a crowd, such as saloons or market squares. Their main service was tooth extraction, a procedure often needed due to poor dental hygiene and the high consumption of sugary diets, including candies and soda pops that were popular during the time. While some of these wandering tooth pullers genuinely aimed to provide a necessary service, others were frauds. They would stage dramatic performances, pulling teeth with flair to draw in more customers, or even sell dubious elixirs claiming to cure toothaches and other ailments. Desperate frontier residents turned to these traveling practitioners due to limited options. The roving tooth pullers became a vital, albeit unconventional, part of healthcare in the Wild West, addressing a significant gap in a large and underserved area. These stories, although sometimes cringeworthy, demonstrate the resourcefulness and adaptability of people in the face of challenges. Number 3. The Greenhorn Easterners in the Wild West. Amidst the harsh landscapes of the Wild West, there would occasionally appear a figure who seemed as out of place as a fish on dry land. These newcomers from the East, drawn by tales of opportunity and adventure, or simply the desire for a fresh start, quickly realized that they were ill-prepared for frontier life. Their encounters and struggles added color and humor to Western folklore. The term greenhorn was used to describe these inexperienced and naive Easterners. Whether they were ambitious entrepreneurs, young men seeking the cowboy life, or families in pursuit of free land, they soon discovered that the dime novels had not prepared them for the challenges they faced. One example of a greenhorn's folly was their first encounter with a lasso. Many of them underestimated the skill required, attempting to rope cattle only to become entangled themselves or be dragged through the dust by a frightened steer. Their attempts to ride untamed horses often ended in comical and painful failures. The tales of greenhorns have a special place in Wild West stories, serving as amusing reminders of the difficulties of navigating unfamiliar terrains and cultures. Number 4. The Gunfight at the OK Corral. Myths and misunderstandings. The gunfight at the OK Corral is a widely recognized event of the Wild West that took place in Tombstone, Arizona on October 26, 1881. Lasting only 30 seconds, it involved lawmen, including the famous Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, confronting a group of outlaws called the Cowboys. Over time, the gunfight's reputation as a clash between good and evil has grown, but the truth is more intricate. The underlying tensions stemmed from personal feuds, politics, and conflicts between rural ranchers and the town's business interests. Additionally, contrary to popular belief, the actual site of the gunfight wasn't the OK Corral, but a nearby vacant lot. The aftermath of the event divided public opinion, with some regarding the Earps and Holiday as heroes, while others saw them as killers. As the years passed, the story of the OK Corral acquired its own mythology, being fictionalized in various forms of media, often blurring the line between truth and fiction. This overshadowed the complicated realities of Tombstone society and the individuals involved. Nevertheless, the gunfight at the OK Corral still serves as a testament to the lasting allure of the Wild West and our inclination for creating myths. Number 5. Deadly poker games. The origins of Dead Man's Hand. The Wild West is often associated with dramatic duels, gritty gunslingers, and the smoky atmosphere of saloons. These saloons were also home to the popular game of poker, which not only provided entertainment but also bred intense rivalries, fortunes lost and won, and occasionally deadly outcomes. One particular poker game has become a legendary story that still haunts card tables today. This is the story of the Dead Man's Hand. To trace its origins, we have to go back to August 2, 1876, in the lively gold rush town of Deadwood, Dakota Territory. James Butler Wild Bill Hickok, a renowned gunslinger and folk hero, sat down for a game of poker at Nuttall and Mann's saloon. Known for his caution, Hickok usually positioned himself with his back against the wall to keep an eye on the entrance. However, on this fateful day, he had no choice but to take a seat that left his back exposed to the door. As the game went on, a discontented man named Jack McCall entered the saloon. Seizing the opportunity, he approached Hickok from behind and shot him in the back of the head. Wild Bill fell to the ground, lifeless, without even a chance to react. The motive for the murder has been widely debated, with some theories suggesting McCall sought revenge for a previous poker game gone wrong. Beyond its eerie associations, the tale of the Dead Man's Hand also serves as a poignant reminder of the volatile nature of the Wild West. In a place where fortunes were made and lost in the hazy atmosphere of saloons, life could be snuffed out as quickly as a candle flame. Stories like this encapsulate the unpredictability and danger of that era. Today, the legacy of the Dead Man's Hand lives on, not only as a warning at poker tables worldwide, but also as a fascinating relic from a bygone time, echoing the grim realities of life and death in the Wild West. Number 6. The Camel Core, America's Desert Experiment. In the vast and dry landscapes of the American Southwest, encountering creatures like rattlesnakes, cacti, or tumbleweeds seems more expected than seeing camels. However, during the mid-19th century, an interesting experiment took place in the United States, the Camel Core, which aimed to introduce these desert animals into the military. During the 1850s, the United States was undergoing westward expansion and exploring new territories. As settlers ventured into the Southwest deserts, traditional transportation methods proved challenging. The difficult terrain and extreme conditions were tough for both men and horses. That's when Secretary of War Jefferson Davis, who later became the President of the Confederate States, proposed an unconventional solution: importing camels. Davis believed that camels from the deserts of the Middle East and North Africa were better suited to endure the harsh conditions of the American desert. He managed to convince Congress to fund the experiment, and in 1855, the U.S. Army imported the first batch of 33 camels from the Middle East. Within 2 years, the number grew to over 70. The idea had its merits. Camels could carry heavy loads, required less water, and appeared to handle the scorching heat with ease. Additionally, their broad, padded feet enabled them to navigate sandy terrain more efficiently than horses or mules. To ensure proper handling of the animals, camel drivers, known as cameliers, were brought to the U.S. Among them was Ali, a Syrian man nicknamed High Jolly. However, the Camel Corps encountered several challenges. Although the camels proved to be skilled at traveling in the desert, they were not always cooperative or easy to handle. Their unfamiliar scent and appearance frightened horses and mules, leading to disruptive situations in military caravans. Additionally, their unique personalities and occasional stubbornness often frustrated their handlers. The Camel Core, although it did not last long, serves as a testament to the innovative and sometimes peculiar methods employed during America's westward expansion. In the lore of the Wild West, among tales of bandits and gold rushes, the story of the U.S. Army's camels stands out as one of its most extraordinary chapters. Number 7. Ghost towns and their unexpected origins. Ghost towns, with their crumbling buildings, deserted mines, and eerily empty streets, are often seen as mysterious and desolate. These towns, frozen in time, are the remains of a once thriving community filled with dreams, excitement, and the allure of the unknown. However, the birth and demise of these settlements were not always as straightforward as one might expect. One of the most intriguing aspects of these towns is how quickly they would emerge at the mere mention of valuable metals or the possibility of a railroad stop. People would flock in large numbers, hoping to strike it rich or establish businesses to support the growing community. Overnight, tent cities would transform into organized towns with establishments like saloons and hotels, catering to the miners and settlers. However, the very factors that led to the rapid growth of these towns also contributed to their rapid decline. Once the minerals ran out or turned out to be mere rumors, there was little reason for people to stay. The fickle nature of the railroad industry also played a significant role. Towns that had boomed in anticipation of becoming a major stop were deserted when the companies chose a different route. Another example is Drawbridge, California, a town built on a muddy flat in the San Francisco Bay. Originally established for its abundant hunting grounds, the town attracted permanent residents. However, the rising tides and lack of proper infrastructure meant that the town suffered frequent flooding. Eventually, the residents gave up the battle against nature and abandoned the town, now submerged during high tide. These ghost towns, each with its own unique history, serve as more than just remnants of the past. They are a testament to human ambition, resilience, and sometimes foolishness. While some disappeared due to economic factors, others fell victim to natural disasters, deceit, or simply bad luck. Together, they create a vivid portrayal of life in the unpredictable Wild West. Number 8. The Legend of Big Nose George. From outlaw to footwear, Big Nose. George Parrott had a notorious reputation as a Wild West outlaw, known for his crimes and his unusually large nose. However, his infamy took a disturbing turn after his capture and lynching in 1881. Instead of a typical burial, George's body was given to doctors who performed an autopsy and created a death mask. They went even further by flaying his skin, which they used to make a pair of shoes and a medical bag. These eerie items, especially the shoes, have been showcased in different places, including a hotel and eventually a museum in Rawlins, Wyoming. The story of Big Nose George blurs the line between fact and legend, serving as a grim reminder of the brutal nature of the Wild West. It also highlights the era's fascination with the macabre, where even in death, an outlaw could attain lasting, albeit disturbing, fame. Number 9. The Hanging Judge. Isaac Parker's ruthless courtroom. In the city of Fort Smith, Arkansas, there existed a courtroom that resounded with the relentless pronouncements of Judge Isaac Parker. Known as the Hanging Judge, Parker's name became synonymous with the concept of frontier justice. Selected in 1875 to establish law and order in the western frontier, he presided over a vast jurisdiction covering an area of more than 74,000 square miles. Parker's courtroom was devoid of any leniency. During his initial term, he presided over 18 murder cases, and 15 of the accused individuals faced their fate at the gallows. Throughout his tenure, Parker condemned 160 individuals to death, and out of those, 79 were executed. His judgments were swift, often disregarding the formalities and complexities of due process that many in the eastern part of the country took for granted. Critics argued that Parker's methods were excessive, characterizing him as a bloodthirsty individual. However, others believed that he was exactly what the West required, a firm hand to control the turmoil. Parker himself maintained that his rulings served as a necessary deterrent in a lawless land, frequently affirming, "I never hanged a man, the law did." Number 10, the Great Train Robbery that wasn't foiled plans and misadventures. The Wild West witnessed a number of bold heists and robberies, but not all went according to plan. One particular train robbery stands out as a comical failure, despite the careful planning involved. A group of inexperienced outlaws, fueled by tales of riches transported by rail, hatched a plot to seize a treasure that ended up being mostly imaginary. On the day of the heist, the gang set up a barricade on the tracks, only to realize that they had misjudged the train's schedule. This mistake led to several hours of mishaps and setbacks, such as their horses escaping and accidentally setting their own supplies on fire. When the train finally approached, the tired and frustrated gang made a clumsy attempt to board it. Their poor timing and lack of coordination caused a string of blunders, allowing the passengers and crew to successfully defend themselves. When all was said and done, the aspiring robbers found themselves either captured or on the run, with no spoils to show for their efforts. News of this failed robbery quickly spread, becoming a local legend that brought both amusement and ridicule. While the Wild West had its fair share of notorious outlaws, it also witnessed the antics of inept amateurs. Number 11, Chinese laborers and the building of the West. The American West's transformation was not only the result of gunslingers, ranchers, or gold prospectors. Chinese laborers played a crucial role in the West's development, although this is often overlooked in mainstream accounts. Many Chinese immigrants were attracted to the Gold Mountain and arrived during the gold rush, but they faced discrimination and limited mining opportunities. Despite these difficulties, Chinese laborers made a lasting impact, particularly in the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. From 1865 to 1869, more than 12,000 Chinese workers labored diligently, laying tracks, tunneling through mountains, and enduring perilous conditions. Their efforts were vital in connecting the east and west coasts, permanently altering the nation's geography. In addition to their work on the railroad, Chinese immigrants formed vibrant communities, introducing new food, customs, and traditions to the American frontier. Examples like San Francisco's Chinatown serve as evidence of their lasting influence and resilience. However, their contributions were not without sacrifice. They faced widespread racism, as exemplified by laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which severely restricted Chinese immigration. Incidents of violence and forced evictions were also common. Yet, despite these challenges, the legacy of Chinese laborers in the West remains strong. Their determination, coupled with their significant contributions, challenges the prevailing narrative of the Wild West and highlights the diverse foundations upon which it was built. Number 12, the mysterious disappearance of Tombstone silver. Tombstone, Arizona, renowned for the Wild West, is well known for the gunfight at the OK Corral. However, there is a lesser-known but equally fascinating story about the mysterious disappearance of silver in the town. Tombstone's mines used to produce enormous amounts of silver, supporting a thriving community with great potential. Suddenly, the silver seemed to vanish, and rumors spread. Some believed that a few individuals were secretly mining and smuggling the silver for themselves. Others whispered about Native American curses, suggesting that the land was reclaiming what had been stolen. Another theory proposed that underground water sources had flooded the mines, making the valuable metal unreachable. The truth, although less supernatural, was just as surprising. Geological studies later showed that an earthquake had shifted the rock layers underground, displacing the once abundant silver veins. This unforeseen event led to an economic collapse for the once booming town, burying the dreams of many in the dust. Number 13, women of the West. More than just damsels in distress. The Wild West tales often highlight the daring exploits of strong cowboys, notorious outlaws, and clever sheriffs. However, within these stories, the significant role of women is often overlooked, despite their diverse and important contributions. Contrary to the stereotypes perpetuated by movies, women in the West were not just damsels in distress or saloon entertainers. They were pioneers, business owners, and trailblazers. Women such as Calamity Jane and Annie Oakley defied traditional gender roles, showcasing their skills in shooting and scouting. In mining towns, women managed boarding houses, laundries, and even claimed mining territories. In other areas, they worked as teachers, journalists, and landowners. Native American women like Sacagawea played crucial roles as interpreters and guides, bridging cultural gaps in an ever-changing environment. Despite the hardships of homesteading and the challenges of frontier life, women demonstrated resilience and determination. They formed the backbone of communities, ensuring the prosperity of homes, schools, and businesses. Their stories offer a different perspective from the male-dominated narratives, reminding us that shaping the West was a collective effort. Number 14, the unsung African-American cowboys of the West. When envisioning the iconic cowboy of the Wild West, we often imagine a tough white man on horseback, wearing a hat to shield himself from the scorching sun. However, historical records show a more varied representation. Among the overlooked heroes of the Western frontier were African-American cowboys who played a crucial role in shaping the West. Although their stories have been largely overshadowed, it is believed that 1 out of every 4 cowboys was of African-American descent. These men found a certain degree of freedom and equality in the West, a stark contrast to the segregation and widespread racism experienced in the South. The vast plains and challenging cattle drives required skill and resilience, regardless of a person's race. The contributions of black cowboys, such as the legendary rodeo performer Bill Pickett, who invented bulldogging, exemplify their significant impact. However, countless other black cowboys remained unnamed and unacknowledged, their stories seamlessly blending into the rich tapestry of Western history. Despite the dangers and lack of glamour, the life of a cowboy presented African Americans with an opportunity in the open range. Respect was often earned through skill and merit, rather than skin color. This lesser-known aspect of the Wild West serves as a reminder of the diverse individuals who contributed to America's legacy on the frontier.